3, 2.
Hi, welcome to my channel, Plant-Based Storm. I'm Stormy, and today it's week 3 garden tour.
Mama.
Right here, I have started some ground cherries. There's not anything really to look at yet, but I had been reading and hearing about these, so I wanted to give these a try. We've got pineapple, ground cherries, and Mary's Niagara. And so they're supposed to be, they're sort of like tomatillas. They have a husk on them, but you can eat them raw right out of the garden. And they're supposed to be real sweet. You can use them to make a syrup. You can use them to make pies. They're like an old-timey kind of plant, been around for a long time, but it's not something that I have ever had. So this is a sink that we saved and rescued from my husband's childhood home. And we think it's somewhere between 70 to 80 years old. It's cast iron and porcelain on the outside of it. And he's going to take this and build a frame for it, and we're going to set up an outside sink for the garden so that we can wash vegetables and pot things up. So just wanted to show you like this little project that we have going on. It came from Alabama and we have it all the way here in Texas with us now. So this is going to be something we're looking forward to showing you sometime soon. Okay, so here are our potatoes. So last week we told you they were turning yellow because we thought we were watering them too much, and we do indeed think that that is what happened. But now they're already starting to look really terrible. They're getting ready, I think, to fall back and let us harvest pretty soon. And something really cool that we realized was going on with our potatoes this year is we had this one flower. It was the first one to flower. I think I showed it in week 1. But if you'll look right here, these are called berries. And these are the seed balls that potatoes put out. And this is where potato seeds come from. You've probably heard of seed potatoes, where you take the actual potato and cut the eyes out and replant the potato itself. But this will be a different genetic line than what the potato is, because whenever you plant your seed potatoes, you're just cloning the plant. Just like whenever you take a cutting off of a tomato, like where the sucker's at, and you reroot that tomato, it's the same thing, but you're just cloning the plant. But whenever you plant this, you are actually planting it from seed. This is the only one to do it, and usually it's whenever the weather is cool enough. Sometimes you will get potatoes where they flower and then the blooms just fall off because it got too hot before they could do or produce any fruit. So yeah, this is because the weather has been so mild here that it had the chance to do that. You usually see this more so up north. These are going to get about 12 feet, I think. So, I wanted to give an update on the pimento peppers. Look, I did not realize this is our first time to grow pimentos. And I did not realize how big these things get. But they are getting so big and so pretty. And we are super excited about them. Okay, so tomatoes are going really well. Something kind of neat that I want to, let me grab it out of the greenhouse real quick. I just got these in from Amazon today, and they are organza bags. So I had a black organza bag that I put over one of our ripening tomatoes because I told you last week that the birds got our very first red tomato, and then we got the hawk. And they just squawked and squawked when we put that hawk in the garden, but then they started flying into the garden anyway. So I thought, let's put this on the tomato and see if it helps, and it did. They never touched it, and we were able to harvest the tomato and let it ripen on the vine. I'll put one on and let you see how it looks and works. I think it was like $16 for this bag on Amazon, and I can put the link below if you want to order these. And there's 100 of them in here, so that's a pretty good deal. Our beef steak, and like I didn't want one to get on this, so I just thought that I would wrap it around this tomato and then just tighten this up. And it just helps protect from stuff that could get to it and eat it like birds and certain insects. So of course it's not foolproof, and I mean some insects could still get in there, but it helps. It's just an extra line of protection. Our okra is doing so much better now that it's gotten hot. You can see that there's gonna be a lot of blooms already starting to come up, and there is a small little baby okra right here. So it's about to get fun. So these are the pink-eyed purple hull peas, and they're really growing. I think the last time I showed them to you, they were just barely coming up. And then in here, we didn't have a whole lot of them come up, but these are the yard-long beans that we planted, or they're also known as noodle beans, and they can get up to 18 inches. And we've got a few of them coming up. This is the white scallop squash, and we've got some coming up. One thing that I think is so neat about squash is that underneath the bloom where the squash is actually going to be, they always take the shape of what they're actually going to look like before they're fertilized. These are Kajari melons that we planted. They're supposed to be super sweet. They're like a cross between a cantaloupe and a honeydew. These were given to me by a co-worker of mine, and I do believe they came from Baker Creek, and I'm really excited to try these. And the rattlesnake beans, they're doing a lot better. They're starting to get their true leaves, so hopefully we'll see them trellising up in the next week or two. The center cut squash, and I don't know if you remember me telling you about what they look like the first week. They're sort of like a crookneck squash, but they're green, they're smooth, and they have a really long neck. And I thought that we had some on here. Look, here's one right here. So this is actually what it would look like if it was mature. It's got that bell at the bottom where that's gonna be where most of the seeds are kept, and this really long neck. So this is looking good. We've got the yellow squash. It's finally starting to trellis and grow in a vine-like. We've cut some of the bottom leaves off. Yellow squash. A little cucumber waiting to be fertilized. So that's week 3 tour, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.